Welcome to another episode of the Para Cave podcast. And now over to your host, Troy Warner, broadcasting live from the world-famous Para Cave.
And yes, hello and welcome back to another episode of the Para Cave podcast. And this is the very first tipping podcast for the year. Rugby League is back, and isn't it great to have Rugby League back? Only the two NRL games to tip this week, with, of course, the two games being played over there in Las Vegas, the two NRL games, that is. There is also a women's international game being played between Australia and England, and also a Super League game being played between the Wigan Warriors and the Warrington Wolves. But the ones that we will concentrate on are the Raiders taking on the Warriors and the Panthers taking on the Sharks at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. And look, it is a very warm welcome, and it's back to my co-host of the tipping podcast, Ella. How are you going, Ella?
Good.
Are you excited for Rugby League starting up again?
I guess, since we get to do this.
Yes.
It's very fun.
That's right. And the tipping podcast will be back.
And the tipping competition too. Yes. I have that open.
Okay, that's great. We'll get into that one in a second. I lost my train of thought. No, I'm back.
We're back.
Yes, so we will try to be putting out the tipping podcast on a Tuesday night. Potentially even a Wednesday morning, so stay tuned for that one if you want to play along and listen to our tips and maybe even tip the same, or just have any queries or different ones to us. You might want to say, oh no, I'm not going them, but anyway, that's when it will come out each and every week. Now, you just recently, just briefly, you just mentioned the tipping competition.
Which I'm on now because I was like, I'm going to check it.
That's right. The Para Cave podcast has a tipping competition this year, the first one ever, and it's all thanks to Assure Strata Reports.
Oh my god, there's so many people.
And also
there's 20 people.
Buddy Old Man Masters Boxer. So give Buddy a follow on Facebook, give Assure Strata Reports a follow on Instagram, and follow the Para Cave podcast on either or both. That will be most appreciated. Yes, I think there is actually about 70 odd people who have joined.
I just checked it and I only saw 20.
Oh, yeah. There is about 70 people that have joined the tipping podcast. Let's just check that one out.
Well, the tipping competition, not the tipping.
Sorry, yes. Sorry, I got that one wrong. Yes, 72 at the moment. Now,
Mine only goes up to 20.
We are recording this on a Thursday, so you've got until Sunday.
Yeah, you weren't here on Tuesday night.
That's right. So you've got until Sunday to get your first two tips in of the round, which are the two games that we're going to talk about here. Get in there, and it's on ESPN Tips. Follow the Para Cave podcast on Instagram. The link will be in there.
Because don't you always link it?
Yeah, I'll also be putting that on my story in the next few days anyway, just for those that haven't joined as well. So get on board. Lots of fun. As I said, thanks to Buddy Old Man, Masters Boxer, and Assure Strata Reports. They have chipped in a total of $900 in prize money. That's right. So,
and I mean, shout out to those 70 people.
Yeah, thank you very much for joining. That is much appreciated. That is for sure. And look, we're going to have some fun this year. Probably a little bit of banter between each other about how our tips are going. That is for sure. But
yes,
it is thanks to those two sponsors. First place is $425. Second place is $275. Third place is $175, and fourth place is $25. So,
I hope I get that first place.
Oh well, I hope I get first place. Who knows what happens if I get first place? I might have to do something else. I'll think of something anyway. But anyway, they are the great cash prizes on offer in this tipping competition. Look, let's get straight into it.
Yep. first game.
Yes, well, the actual first game over in Las Vegas this year is the Wigan Warriors taking on the Warrington Wolves. Now, I'm not going to claim to be an expert in the Super League, so I'm not really going to talk about that one too much. Look, I'll just go off a lucky guess, and I will tip the Wigan Warriors to win that one, even though that's not part of the competition.
Well, it's not.
I'll look forward to watching that one. I think it's on about 8:30 on Sunday morning, Australian time. So if you want to get up early on Sunday morning, catch that one. I think I tip Wigan just due to Bevan French, former Parramatta Eels player, being in that side. Coach for the Warrington Wolves, Sam Burgess, he had a little bit of drama early on in the week trying to get into the US, but he has now sorted that out and he will be in Las Vegas coaching his team. The second game, which we will talk about and we will be watching and tipping,
I won't be watching.
Is between the Raiders and Warriors. So the Canberra Raiders taking on the Warriors. And look, this is the first hit out for both sides. Obviously, the Warriors go into this game as favourites. The Raiders are outsiders. A few people have tipped the Raiders to probably not do so well this year. It's going to be an interesting year for the Warriors, that is for sure. No Sean Johnson, no Tohu Harris, who had to medically retire earlier this year, just recently actually. So they're the two big, I guess you could say, outs for them this season. But they have gained James Fisher-Harris, and he is the captain of the side as well, so from the Penrith Panthers. So they have got him there, and they have Roger Tuivasa-Sheck playing on the wing as well. So look at a fairly decent side from the Warriors. Charles Nickel-Clockster, the fullback, Tuapiki on the wing. Adam Pompey's got one centre spot. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, as I mentioned, on the wing.
Oh, someone be calling me.
Oh, jeez.
But I can't answer because I'm doing the podcast.
Probably about one of your tips. And the all-important halves for the Warriors, with Sean Johnson retiring, is Chanel Harris-Tavita and Luke Metcalf. They get the first crack at
that was awkward
half
when people called me.
5'8", 5'8.5". So, and of course they are coached by Andrew Webster. The Canberra Raiders, now they've had a bit of drama during the week.
Ooh, drama.
Yes,
Love the drama.
Hudson Young and Morgan Smithies getting involved in a bit of an incident in a hotel over there in Las Vegas. It has all been apparently sorted out now. They will be playing. They will be in the second row and lock positions. But look, a bit of a disruptive start for the Canberra Raiders, not only this season but also over there in Las Vegas. So Ethan Strange, Jamal Fogarty, who missed a lot of last year, he gets that halfback position. Ethan Strange in at 5'8". KO Weeks in at fullback. Just looking through here, Joe Tarpany is the captain, so well deserved there for him. Obviously, Elliot Whitehead has gone to the English Superleague, and Owen Paddy, I've heard big raps apparently about him as well from Rugby League Guru. Is one of his favourites, one of his CBAs. But yeah, look, a lot of people have tipped the Raiders to struggle this year, but it'll be interesting to see how they can get up. They can be a little bit of a team that can probably give the good sides a bit of a nudge and probably lose against the lesser known sides, but the Warriors and Raiders will be looking to have a better season than they did last year. Look, I think I'll ask you first, Ella. Who are you going to tip out of this one?
I think I'm going to go for the Warriors.
The Warriors.
Actually.
Okay, yes, I will be tipping the Warriors as well. I think in this one, I just think they've had a less interrupted preparation, I guess you could say. Still question marks about their halves combination, but just that added value of having James Fisher-Harris in that side as captain, and Mitch Barnett, who had a career-defining season last year, making his State of Origin debut. I think he'll be up for another big year as well. It'll be really interesting to see, but I think the Warriors will get that one. The game in between that one and the Panthers and the Sharks is actually a women's international.
You had that open on a tab.
It is the Gillaroos versus the English side, so one player I am excited to see play in this game is actually playing for the English side, Paige Travis, who has signed with the Parramatta Eels NRLW side, so I'll be interested to see how she goes in this game. Obviously not too good against Australia. Obviously I want Australia to win, but there is a lot of English going over to Las Vegas, as well as obviously Australians and New Zealanders as well. So this will be a international game, and it'll be really good to see the women's international game being played on a massive stage over there in Las Vegas. So they will get more exposure. So a pretty strong lineup as well. I feel sorry for the English ladies, to be honest, because Tamika Upton, Jakaya Whitfield, Isabel Kelly, Tiana Penatani, Julia Robinson, Ali Brigginshaw, Taryn Aiken, Shannon Marto, Olivia Higgins, Kezzy Apps, co-captain with Ali Brigginshaw, Yasmin Clydesdale, Olivia Koenig, the Dally M winner from last year in the NRLW, Somaima Taufa, Quincy Dodd, Jess Sergis, Sarah Tagatuki, Keely Joseph round out the 17. So really strong side there. I don't know too much about the English side, other than Paige Travis, who I mentioned just before, who is now signed with the Parramatta Eels. So this will be a great game. So if you can, please tune into this one and watch this one. It's the first time since 2017 that Australia has played England, actually. So it will be interesting to see how that goes. A long time between drinks in playing each other there. The 2026 World Cup is next season, so a little bit of a great way to strengthen the national program and help them prepare for the 26 World Cup. So very early on rugby league for the women's game. But that one will be a good one to watch, that is for sure. Now, the other game we do have to tip is the Panthers and Sharks.
I'm pretty sure you already know who I'm going to go for.
Yes, I do. Now, the Panthers are going into this game as favourites, and why not? They are 4-time consecutive premiers. Although the Sharks, they did play the Panthers in the prelim final last season. Unfortunately did lose. A lot of expectation about the Sharks this year, and a lot of people have got them in their top four. So a pretty strong side looking for them, to be honest. William Kennedy, Sam Stonestreet. Look, he is replacing Sione Katoa, who's out for a while with an injury. So a great opportunity for Sam Stonestreet to play some first grade. Braden Trindle, who had a great season last year, is a 5'8". Nico Hines is the halfback. They're big in for them, as well as in the forward pack is Adam Fanua-Blake in that prop position, basically coming from the New Zealand Warriors. So James Harris has gone from the Panthers, who the Sharks are playing this week, to the Warriors, and Adam Fanua-Blake has come from the Warriors to the Sharks. Oregon Confuci gets a starting spot. Cameron McInnes is the captain. Daniel Atkinson, he is the number 14. And one man who has been courted by a few clubs at the moment as he is off contract is Tom Hazelton. He rounds out the 17. So, look, very interesting and a strong-looking side for them. But, of course, you have the full-time defending premiers, the Panthers. A little bit of a unusual-looking backline, you could say, for them. No Brian To'o. He's replaced by Casey McLean, who will do a job. Obviously made his international debut last year. Luke Garner in the centres as well. That's an interesting one there. Paul Alamotti on the other wing, who he played centre last year. Jack Cole gets the 5'8" spot with Nathan Cleary, the captain, with Moses Leota in that prop position, and his new Bash brother, I guess you could say, is Lindsay Smith, who made his Australian debut last year, so he gets that starting prop first game, and why wouldn't you? Great player. Pretty strong forward pack: Leota, Kenny, Smith, Sorensen, Martin, Yo. Dane Laurie gets the 14 interchange spot. Isaiah Papali'i, the new interchange player for the Panthers, a new signing from the West Tigers. He gets a interchange spot. Matt Eisenhuth as well on the interchange bench, and of course being coached by Ivan Cleary. Look, I don't know. Can the Panthers go 5 in a row? They will want to try and get this victory and start their premiership defence in style. The teams that went to Vegas last year struggled a bit, I thought, when they came back. So this will be interesting to see how these two sides go when they come back. The Panthers go into this game as favourites, and look, why not? They are full-time premiers. Although the Sharks are outsiders there. So, do I have to ask or not?
If you want to.
Who are you going to tip, Ella?
Panthers. Obviously.
Okay, all right.
I will never tip the other team. Never.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Panthers.
Yeah, fair enough. It is a competition, so you could very well be right there.
I can't wait to see how many people in the tipping competition tip Panthers.
Well, yeah, that'll be interesting. I'm going to go for the Sharks in this one.
Of course you are.
Well, not of course. I just think this
you
is
always go against.
No, not always. This is a
yes.
This is a pretty strong looking side for them. I just think across the park, especially in that back line, a little bit more experienced. I think Nathan Cleary, he's returning from injury, or not injury, I should say.
Why are you telling me this?
Off-season surgery. So, look, I just think the Sharks will get the win in this one and start their season on a winning way. So,
no, obviously Panthers.
Well, that is your choice. That is my choice. And
that's our opinion.
We will put our tips in, we'll put our tips into the ESPN tips.
Yeah.
And everyone, again, if you haven't joined or you know someone who hasn't joined, get them to join the tipping comp.
Would love to see more people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even though we already have 70, that's a lot.
Absolutely.
We really appreciate that. But we would love to see more people.
That's right. We might see a few late comers to the competition, maybe Friday, Saturday, maybe even early Sunday morning as well.
Yes.
So, yeah, we might see some late people coming.
Early people?
Yeah, I know.
You mean late
early on Sunday morning, but late comers to the competition, which
I
would be
was
great.
an early member.
You were.
Was I first member?
I think you were, actually.
Slay!
I think you were, actually. So, look, I'm going to tip the Sharks and the Warriors. Ella's going for the Panthers and the Warriors. So,
yes.
out of those games, one of us will get Well, both of us may get one at least. With both of us
Yeah, or
tipping
maybe
the
one of
Warriors,
us
and
might get both.
That's right. And one of us might get two to start off the season pretty well. Look, we will be back next week.
We're gonna be back.
And it will probably be, as I said, on Tuesday night that the tipping podcast will come out. Maybe even Wednesday morning. So stay tuned for that one. We've got the rest of the round to go through. The rest of the other teams play their games across the weekends. Cannot wait for that one. So thank you very much for listening to this one. Las Vegas Rugby League. It is exciting. It is getting
and I'm
bigger
very
and bigger.
excited to be back on the podcast.
Absolutely. I'm excited for you to be back.
Because I love being on here.
Yes, and I think the listeners love having you on as well. So,
oh my gosh, I have fans.
yes, I think so. So, look, thank you very much for listening. And as I said, good luck with your tips and join the competition if you haven't already. Enjoy your rugby league, your Las Vegas Rugby League over the weekend, and we will be back next week. So the Paracave podcast by the fan or fans for the fans. And look, I will say go Para, but Ella will say
Go Panthers!
Okay, there we
Obviously.
go. Until next time, thank you very much for listening.
Bye.
And enjoy your rugby league.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Paracave Podcast. See you next time.